Welcome into Yost Ice Arena here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the number 2 Michigan Wolverines, off to their best start in nearly 2 decades, host the undefeated Wisconsin Badgers, number 10 ranked, along with Lincoln Iaquaniello. I'm Theo, Shernoff. Lincoln, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's always a great night to be in Yost to see some fantastic Wolverine hockey here.
These teams off to some of their best starts in recent history. Wisconsin, the only undefeated team in the country. Michigan, only 1 loss through 10 games. We step aside for the national anthem. Back here at Yost Ice Arena, Michigan and Wisconsin standing at their respective blue lines after the national anthem. What a game we have today. Top 10 matchup. Both of these teams, their second series in Big Ten play. Both are undefeated in Big Ten play. Wisconsin coming off a home sweep against Minnesota, and Michigan a road sweep against Notre Dame, who plays in the Big Ten for hockey. Lincoln, what are you looking for in tonight's game?
Well, I'm looking forward to some great action from some Wolverine scoring. So let's first look at left winger Will Horkoff. 10 goals in his first 10 games, and then his last 3, he's dropped 4. Native from Birmingham, Michigan, he's looked excellent out there for the Wolverines. I love to see what he can bring out there tonight. Moving over to the opposing left wing position for the Badgers, a little bit of an underdog story here. Blake Montgomery, the freshman, has had a great last 3 games too. 4 goals as well. Hasn't scored before the last 3 games, and he's seen action in all 8 of Wisconsin's games this season. Love to see him get some more time.
Yeah, Michigan, 6 players averaging over a point per game to goal or an assist per game. Leads the country. Horkoff leads the way scoring-wise with 10 points. Michael Hage, who was on the right wing this year, started as a center last year, but on the right wing this year has 15 points to lead the Maize and Blue. The skaters finishing their final warm-up skates. Children of Yost, packed and loud. Sold out Yost Ice Arena for this highly anticipated matchup. Lincoln, any predictions for the game? We're going to see a lot of physicality. We know that between these rivals. Any final predictions before the game starts?
Well, I think TJ Hughes is going to have an excellent night. Captain for these Wolverines senior. Big decision to come back this year. He is tied with George Chin from 1954 for the 50th in scoring among the Wolverines. Love to see him knock off that tied position, climb up the ranks there.
Yeah, Hughes, the nation's leading active scorer, 51 goals to his name in just about 2 days. On Sunday, he officially turns 24, and he is playing with 17-year-olds. Pretty hilarious story there. Teams completing their official final warm-up skates, just the starters on the ice, ready for puck drop here in Ann Arbor. Michigan lost Henry Muse, their point guard of the power play. They have replaced him with Matthew Maney, or Marv as they call him. he will fill in. TJ Hughes, the captain of the Wolverines, lines up for the faceoff with Gavin Morrissey, alternate captain of the Badgers. And we are officially underway in Ann Arbor. Hughes wins the faceoff for the Wolverines in their home white jerseys, winged helmets. They flick it in deep. Around the boards it goes. Hage finds it. Barnett, a shot on goal. Already blocked by Hauser. Right away, a shot from the point. Wisconsin the other way, into their offensive zone. Tassi hands it to Morrissey. Back to Schultz. Schultz with time at the blue line. Passes to Iaquaniello, the Wolverines' netminder. He's been so solid all year. He catches it in his glove. Play is blown dead.
Yeah, great look there from Zach Schultz, the alternative captain, junior from Southline, Michigan. A little bit of a return there to his stomping grounds. Great look there from Long at Michigan's net. However, Bully had that one right in the palm of his hand.
Reset face-off. It's won by Wisconsin. It goes way into their defensive zone, so they have to reset. Wisconsin off the boards into neutral ice. Ernest flicks it in. Ernest developing his offensive game this season for the Wolverines, trying to earn an NHL deal. Turnover in the neutral zone. Fitzgerald for Wisconsin. Passes, tries to find a teammate on the far side. Tyler Duke trips it up, and the Wolverines clear the defensive zone. Cole McKinney out to center ice. Malcolm Spence, the freshman New York Rangers prospect, into the offensive zone. Makes a turnover. Wisconsin in their defensive zone resets offensively. Quinn Finley, Big Ten preseason first team, makes a turnover in central ice for the Badgers. Then Michigan gives the puck right back. Puck going back and forth. No sustained offensive time here for either squad. 18:45 left in the first period. Still scoreless. Dakota Mullen for the Wolverines in his defensive zone. Now Nick Moldenhauer has the puck taken from him. Blake Montgomery, you mentioned it. 4 goals in 3 games. Can't control the puck behind the Wolverines' net. And the puck is in the Wolverines' defensive zone, but in the possession of the Wolverines, and now a clearance deep. Draper chasing after the puck along with Aiden Dubinsky, and it's icing as Dubinsky gets there first. It was cleared from the Wolverines' defensive zone into the Badgers' defensive zone over the red line. Icing will reset with a face-off in the Wolverines' defensive zone.
Yeah, great start to the game for both teams so far. A little bit of defensive worry initially there back for the Wolverines. However, they were able to clear it up, drawing that icing call, however.
Vasily Zilanov for the Badgers and Keenan Draper for Michigan with the face-off, and Zilanov wins it. Dubinsky now. Puck on his stick, drops back to Kukkonen at the blue line. Kukkonen at the blue line, pressured by Draper. Still pressured. Puck flung way up in the air, out to neutral ice, snagged by Osborne. Now Rio Mullen for Michigan at his own face-off dot, deep in his own zone, retreats. Goes around his own net as both teams change. Puck behind Michigan's net. Hands to Matthew Mania, who checked into the Wolverines lineup after the injury, the lower body injury that Henry Muse suffered against Notre Dame. Mania passes it off the skate of Spence, and a turnover in the neutral zone, but Wisconsin just flings it deep, and Ivan Kovic keeps it moving along his defensive boards. Dexheimer, Ben Dexheimer for the Badgers in his own defensive zone now. The captain for the Badgers enters the offensive zone of the Wolverines. Mania keeps it moving. Valentini for the Wolverines clears the defensive zone. No team able to sustain offensive zone time. Wisconsin flicks it in. They will change. A little scrum in center ice. Eden Park got into it with Jack Horbach, and we'll see what the call is. A whistle was blown.
Already some physical play here. First shot against the boards behind the Wolverines' goal there was on Mania. Might have been a little bit of a retaliatory push there.
Garrett Shifsky picks up a minor penalty early on. Shifsky, the veteran on this Michigan team, a junior, picks up a penalty, and right away Wisconsin is on the power play. Michigan has the nation's third-ranked scoring defense with 17:09 left in the first. Wisconsin the first real chance. Both teams have recorded one shot. Michigan needs a penalty kill. Wisconsin wins the faceoff. Dexheimer, Morrissey. Morrissey tries to swing it along the blue line, clears the zone, and Quinn Finley has to retrieve it. Finley so dangerous. This Wisconsin top line so dangerous. Quinn Finley enters the zone. Onsides, but then loses his edge, falls down. Draper now for the Wolverines. Maybe a shorthanded chance. Enters, passes, Duke, shot, blocked. Tyler Duke had a shorthanded opportunity. Now Asher Barnett of the Wolverines received the rebound way in his defensive zone. 30 seconds gone in this power play. Barnett sends it the length of the ice. Touches Hauser, the Badgers goaltender. And now Wisconsin back on the attack. 1:18 left in the power play. 16:25 left in the first period. Still scoreless. Ben Robertson, the Cornell transfer from Michigan, on defense. Morrissey swings it. Cross-ice pass blocked by Ivan Kovic. Shot on goal was taken by Christian Fitzgerald of the Badgers. Robertson trying to clear the defensive zone. Can't. Misplayed by Nick Moldenhauer. Finley keeps it moving along the boards. Hensler on the far side for Wisconsin. Blocked by Fantilli off his skate. Michigan standing strong. 50 seconds left in the power play. Hensler now loses the puck. Hands it over to Cole McKinney. Cole McKinney takes his time. Clears it the length of the ice on net. And Hauser closes his shins. Stops it. And Wisconsin back on the attack. 30 seconds left in the power play. Montgomery tries to enter the zone. Puck is deflected. Wisconsin not on sides. Has to re-enter. Hensler now sends it around the boards. Ivan Kovic cuts it off and leaves it for his teammate Ernest, who then clears the puck. Michigan student section whooping as they do every clearance in the power play. 15 seconds left on the penalty kill. 15 minutes left in the first period, still scoreless. Wisconsin a last gasp effort. Montgomery behind the goal. Hands. Shot now from the slot. Blocked by the stick of TJ Hughes. Best opportunity of the power play. Joe Poladichuk had his opportunity, blocked by TJ Hughes. Back to full strength are the Wolverines. Long period of play here. Full power play went by with no whistles. Michigan through neutral ice, ices the puck as they could not catch up to the puck, and a little miscommunication by Horkoff in the neutral zone leads to icing, and finally a whistle. Lincoln, what'd you see on that power play by Wisconsin and that penalty kill by Michigan?
I mean, that's exactly how Michigan wants to play it, not getting any chippier, not letting any dropped pucks, getting out of a little bit of a snag there. Wisconsin has looked hot off power plays, as any team does, especially their last series against Minnesota. Michigan able to get out of it. They've had some penalty issues, and so it's nice to see them get out of this jam early on.
Scoreless 5 minutes into the game. Top 10 matchup, Wolverines and Badgers. Michigan wins the faceoff deep in their own zone, but then give the puck away. Robertson gave it away. Wisconsin looking for space. Pietila into the slot, trying to connect with Deering. His teammate can't, and it's cleared the length of the ice by Michigan, but not all the way, so not icing. Wisconsin back on the attack. Horbach and Pietila. Pietila spins, backhands it around to Deering. Ben Robertson, 11 assists, no goals on the season for the Wolverines on defense, and they control the puck. Hughes clears through the neutral zone, but again, it should be icing. No, it looks like it was deflected by Wisconsin, so not icing. Finley now for the Badgers sends the puck around the boards on his offensive side. Barnett for the Wolverines and Rio Mullen keep it along. Now Schultz for the Badgers cuts it off. Valentini fighting with Dexheimer on the far side boards. Pass goes to Rio Mullen of Michigan behind his own net. Park in front of his own net now. Clears it to Valentini. Valentini can't clear the zone. Dexheimer hits it off the skate of Aiden Park, and it goes over the glass out of play for a reset faceoff. 13:37 left in the first period, scoreless on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, so far this game has been high action. Got through that Michigan power play, the power play for Wisconsin against Michigan. Went scoreless, unable to capitalize as they return back to play.
Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone. Michigan recorded 2 shots, Wisconsin 3, but Wisconsin has had the majority of the offensive zone time thanks to the power play. Morrissey, a shot. Deflected, but deflected wide. Shot from the point by Morrissey, Gavin Morrissey. Big Ten all-freshman team last year. Puck around to Wisconsin. Poladichuk now behind the net to Michigan. Michigan trying to clear their defensive zone. A long, sustained shift. Fantilli and Duke trying to track down Tassi. Tassi through the crease. could not connect with a Badger. No red shirts around, and Michigan finally clears the zone thanks to Jaden Perron. Tassi sends it back in for Wisconsin, but everyone changes. 10 new skaters onto the ice. Michigan now in neutral ice. Spence sends it deep. Aiden Park on the fetch. Dubinsky, transfer from Minnesota Duluth for the Badgers. And Zelenov trying to enter the offensive zone, gets cut off. Finally, Zelenov does, and Ivan Kovic cuts it off, hands to Rio Mullen behind his own net. Dakota Rio Mullen, talented sophomore in his defensive zone, tries to pass to Adam Valentini. He cannot connect with him, and the Badgers retrieve it in their defensive zone. A lot of sloppy play by the Wolverines. Now Valentini forces a turnover in his offensive zone. Park on his backhand, finds Shifsky in front of the net. Goal! Garrett Shifsky from Aiden Park, and Adam Valentini put the number 2 ranked Wolverines on top early, 1-0 with 12:10 left in the first.
Great look there by Shifsky. First goal since the win against Western Michigan here at Yost. Excellent look. Caught Wisconsin's defense off guard in transition. Was able to stick right in front of the goalkeeper.
Wolverines on top 1-0. There is some discussion with the Wisconsin bench and the referee, Mike Hastings, discussing with the official, and there will be a review. Wisconsin is challenging this, Lincoln. They're challenging for goaltender interference. A massive decision they're challenging. If they lose the challenge, believe they go on the penalty kill, down 1-0. But Mike Hastings, in his 3rd season as the Wisconsin head coach, saw something there that Garrett Shifsky might have interfered with Daniel Hauser. You look at the replay here. Aiden Park, a fantastic backhand just over the stick of the defender. And then Shifsky got it rejected by Hauser once, but then the puck snuck through his skate and reached the back of the net. Hauser was almost in the net himself. Shifsky powered through. Shifsky's legs were not in the way of Hauser, but his stick might have been. What are you seeing there, Lincoln?
Yeah, it looks like the stick made contact with his leg pads there. Hard to tell from the angle that the crowd is provided with, although the student section does not seem to be the most thrilled with that replay.
Big decision here. Wisconsin challenging the goal call. Would be Shifsky from Park and Valentini with 12:10 left in the first. We'll see if it stands. Referees in the booth reviewing, looking at every angle they have. Michigan had been kind of outplayed thus far by Wisconsin early on. On the offensive zone, Wisconsin controlled the time of possession. But Michigan forces a turnover, and then a great series of transition passes leads to a goal should it stands.
Absolutely, and that's definitely why Wisconsin is going ahead with the challenge here. They've had so much momentum, so much going for them away from home in Yost, such a tough environment, and to kind of get that killed defensively with that first Michigan goal sort of came out of nowhere to them. So if this goes their way, suddenly this brings a little bit of pep back in their step. Can brush this off, say, look, that was a bad little mistake, but it's not going to count against us. But if it does, then suddenly Wisconsin's bound a challenge, and Michigan have the advantage up 1 goal with still 12 minutes left to play in the first period. Very dangerous territory. A rather long challenge.
Yeah, a long challenge. 7 minutes and 50 seconds into the first period. Right now the scoreboard shows 1-0. But the officials coming out of the booth, both orange striped officials, and there will be a ruling here. The call stands. Michigan goes up 1-0. Long review. Call stands, and Wisconsin, their challenge does not pay off. And Michigan up 1-0 early on. They lose their challenge for the game. So, a face-off at center ice after a long challenge, and Michigan wins. Or Wisconsin does not have a successful challenge. So back to 1-0. Right on net, right away was Quinn Finley. So quick to the puck. Flicked it on, went over the net though. Quinn Finley has it again in Wisconsin's offensive zone. To Dexheimer. Around the boards, the puck flies. Oliver Tolk now. Christian Fitzgerald on it. Pressured by Keenan Draper. Puck flings to neutral ice to Josh Ernest for the Wolverines, makes a turnover. Quinn Finley backhands it in, and Tolk, trying to get to the puck, loses an edge and falls down. Michigan resets behind their own net. Crucial period here. Michigan goes up 1-0 against the number 10 ranked Badgers at home. Wisconsin, again, has not lost this season. They have 2 ties, both against Minnesota State, but no losses. 6-0-2. The Wolverines ice the puck here as they could not get a deflection in the neutral zone. So it will be a defensive zone faceoff, but really promising signs early on for these Wolverines. Number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines looking to remain undefeated in Big Ten play.
Absolutely. Finley there with the last shot right after play resumed, trying to get a little bit of a jab back in against Michigan. He had 2 goals in the last game against Minnesota, that 4-0 win at home, looking to extend his streak for goal scoring.
Draper and Zelenov on the faceoff. Draper wins for the Wolverines. Rio Mullen now for the white sweaters sends it into the offensive zone. Wisconsin is there, though. 5 red sweaters around the puck. Wisconsin behind their own net. Zach Schultz. And then another turnover in their defensive zone. TJ Hughes picked it up but could not connect a pass to Michael Hage. And now Zelenov and the Badgers on the attack. Barnett gets a skate on the puck to disrupt some momentum, but Wisconsin keeps the offensive zone. Palatichuk sends it deep. Now a scrum for the puck along the boards. Montgomery's there, Schultz is there. Hage clears for the Wolverines, and TJ Hughes has space. Open ice in front of him on his backhand. Slows things down, sets up an offensive zone possession. Hage through the slot. In the faceoff circle. Nice, nifty move, but could not connect with the puck. It goes off the pad of Daniel Hauser, the Badgers netminder, and Wisconsin gets away with it. Wolverines still on offense, though. Ben Robertson connects with TJ Hughes to send the puck deep. Wisconsin retrieves behind their own net, and they clear their defensive zone. Blake Montgomery in the neutral zone on offense, passes to Jack Ivankovic, who's the Wolverines' netminder. Cole McKinney now through neutral ice for the Wolverines. Perron on it. Jaden Perron jumps it back. Shot. Save. Shot again. Save. Hauser there. Not once, not twice, but now 3 times. 3 straight saves by Daniel Hauser. And the Badgers clear the zone. Drew Schock gets the puck for the Wolverines and wheels it around the boards. 3 great opportunities there, Lincoln. Asburn for Wisconsin through the Wolverines' defensive zone. Sends the puck right to Ivankovic, who covers it up without much pressure. And there will be a defensive zone faceoff. 9:23 left in the first period. Michigan up 1-0.
Yeah, that last little bit of play right in front of the Wisconsin net, 3 straight shots, looked quite similar to what happened, at least in front of the net. Some pressure on the goalkeeper, pushed himself back almost into his own net, but there wasn't able to get a clearance, and the long shot was blocked and taken care of. Some good defensive work there by Wisconsin, trying to limit some of the damage as Michigan gets up to 7 shots now, how that's changed since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, they just had 3 straight shots. They scored in their 4th shot of the game. Garrett Shifsky from Aiden Park and Adam Valentini. That 4th line coming through with some offense for the best offense in the country. Michigan, they have 12 more goals than any other team in the nation this season. Really fantastic performance. We're at a timeout here in the first period, the media timeout. 9:23 left. 1-0 Michigan. Wisconsin, number 10 in the country, undefeated. They haven't played anyone that's really that talented, though. They just knocked off Minnesota, who's a good team in the Big Ten. But the best offense they played was the number 31 ranked offense in the country in Lindenwood way early on in the season. So Wisconsin, this is by far their biggest test thus far. And Michigan, also the biggest test. They played Western Michigan in a home-and-home. They split that. That's where their only loss came. But now they face the Badgers, the number 10 ranked Badgers, who have not lost. Back into action here. Tolk in a face-off with Valentini. Michigan into center ice. Wisconsin retrieves. Dexheimer connects with Quinn Finley. Finley, the Islanders prospect, highly touted, was a 3rd rounder for the Islanders, but His stock has only risen since then, and the Wolverines will ice again. A lot of icing early on. A lot of NHL talent on these rosters. These are both hockey powerhouses in the NCAA. Big Ten rivals being the standard in the Big Ten for a long time, and Michigan and Wisconsin both have stacked rosters with talent.
Yeah, like you said, Finley, draft stock rising, draft pick, 2 goals in the last game. Had a great shot earlier on in this period, looking to extend his goal-scoring streak and really bring the Badgers back into this game.
Had 2 goals in their last round against Minnesota. Eden Park for the Wolverines through neutral ice, flicks the puck deep, and he's blocked off by Hensler. Park still in pursuit, but the Badgers clear. Gavin Morrissey now. Now, Tassi in the offensive zone. Ben Robertson, great defense. The transfer from Cornell. Robertson clears for the Wolverines. Stick handles through neutral ice into Shifsky, the goal scorer for tonight. Shifsky sends it around those yellow boards, and Wisconsin keeps it moving out of the zone. Barnett in pursuit, and Barnett cuts the puck off, connects with Cole McKinney in their defensive zone. Ernestine now. Josh Ernestine added an offensive repertoire to his game this season. Ernestine still fighting in behind the Badgers' net. Malcolm Spence comes away with the puck from the scrum. Schock sends one through the crease off the boards. Good chance there for Drew Schock, the freshman, Ducks prospect. Now Wisconsin in their defensive zone. Clears into their offensive zone. Chance now on net. Saved by Ivan Kovic. Grady Deering had an opportunity. Couldn't connect. Behind the Wolverines' net now, calming things down, Dakota Rio Mullen. Rio Mullen slows things down as both teams are changing, and TJ Hughes now stick handles and kind of crosses up Zilanov of the Badgers. TJ Hughes slowing things down for the Wolverines, yet to make a move. Now Hughes connects with Horkoff. Horkoff enters the zone in the center. Hughes on the right wing. Sends it around the boards to the left point with Tyler Duke, who goes back off the boards, backboard to Will Horkoff. Now to the slot. Michael Hage cut through, took a shot, was deflected. Hughes, a quick turn on the left side. Horkoff connects with Duke. Duke, one-timer from the point, skittles through the crease, could not find the net. Now Wisconsin clears, and Montgomery deflected by Mania. Puck finds Ivan Kovic in a dangerous situation, who covers it up. Matthew Mania and Tyler Duke miscommunication on defense, but Ivan Kovic covers it up. 6:52 remaining in the first period. Michigan still leads 1-0.
Little bit of a scuffle down there behind the Michigan net there. Both referees are stepping in to get a little bit. This game's gotten chippy. There's been a lot of shots against the board, which really spurred on that last Wisconsin chance on net. However, the refs making sure nothing escalates quite yet. Both teams have looked to get physical in this game, trying to assert some sort of presence on the ice. They try to establish this game. Michigan has let 2 more shot attempts come in since their goal for Wisconsin.
Yeah, Michigan 7 shots. Wisconsin has 5. Still 1-0. The Michigan dance team clears off the ice for the skaters. Ivan Kovic, one of the main reasons Michigan has been so successful this season. Only 16 goals allowed in 10 games. You can do the math. That's pretty good. He has a .934 save percentage on the season. He's a Nashville Predators prospect, born in 2007, just turned 18. On the other side, Wisconsin, their success this season is also due to their netminder. Daniel Hauser, a freshman out of Alberta, has a .940 save percentage. 2 shutouts to his name thus far. Reason Wisconsin's so good. These are 2 powerhouses. Again, unstoppable force meets immovable object here in Ann Arbor.
Great way to put it.
Face-off, won by Michigan behind their own net. Out to neutral ice, Nick Moldenhauer in pursuit. He is there on the offensive zone to prevent icing behind Wisconsin's net. Jaden Perron skates to it. Now Draper, and now back to Moldenhauer on the right side behind the net. Trying to evade Hensler of the Badgers. And the puck goes to the Badgers. Quinn Finley in neutral ice. And now he drops it back to Tolk. Tolk and Fitzgerald. Tolk trying to find Finley. Great stick by Keenan Draper to deflect the pass. Did not let it get through. Wisconsin still in their offensive zone. Palatichuk sends one off the back of Luca Fantilli. Deflects to the right boards. On the right side now, Quinn Finley of the Badgers. Fitzgerald, shot, blocked again. Michigan's defense so strong in the defensive zone, cleared out to the Wisconsin zone.
Absolutely, trying to make sure to block all angles on the net.
Rio Mullen for Michigan in pursuit behind his own net. Backhands it along the boards to Aiden Park. Aiden Park loses it to Tassi and then gets the puck right back. Puck right in front of us on the boards on the right side. Valentini fighting with Morrissey. Asburn emerges with it for Wisconsin. Rio Mullen behind his own net. Keeps it moving, and Michigan trying to clear the defensive zone. Aiden Park, a little misslip in front of the Wolverines net. Ivan Kovic stands strong. His pad on the ground, on the ice, stops the puck from eking through, and he covers it up with his glove. Wisconsin, after a turnover by Aiden Park, a great opportunity with 5:24 left in the first period. Wisconsin still trails by 1.
Yeah, both turnovers there. That last possession were by Park. A little bit of trouble controlling the puck. However, defense, Rain Mullen, and of course, the goalkeeper, Markovic, back there, solid as a rock for the Wolverines.
Jack Ivankovic, so strong. Cole McKinney on the faceoff for the Wolverines, wins it. Michigan through neutral ice. Offsides as they enter the zone. So they have to reset, and now all 5 try to enter the offensive zone. Wisconsin controls. Turnover in the neutral ice. Ernestine enters the zone on sides. Ernestine cutting towards the net. Shots high side, glove side, save by Hauser. Good little flick opportunity by Josh Ernestine. Hauser was ready for it.
Turnovers there right along the blue for Wisconsin has been an issue. Led to that first goal, led to that other 3-shot kind of rapid fire round there for the Wolverines earlier in the period, and now on that last one too, an area that Wisconsin is going to have to bolster moving into the rest of this period and game if they want to survive this relentless Michigan offense.
1-0 Michigan, 5:04 left in the first period. Goal came from Garrett Shifsky. Matthew Mania on the offensive attack for the Wolverines. Looking for sustained offensive zone time. Puck flies over the glass into the stands. Caught by a lucky fan. Gets to keep that souvenir. Fist bumps all around the stands for the Wolverine faithful.
Michigan so far has won 7 out of the 13 face-offs today. Just earlier, Wisconsin had won 6 and Michigan only 4, so turned it around. See if they can get this done in Wisconsin's end of the ice.
Zilanov and Draper on the face-off in Wisconsin's defensive zone. Dexheimer controls for the Badgers. Dexheimer now pressured by Horkoff and Hage. Puck is kept moving. Robertson spins around in his offensive zone. Sends one through the crease. Horkoff was pushed as he was trying to connect with it. He couldn't. Puck now in front of the Wisconsin net, but controlled by the red and white. Through neutral ice goes Kukkonen. He makes a turnover in the offensive zone. TJ Hughes now taking his time in neutral ice, right at the big block M in the center, and passes to Will Horkoff, who enters the offensive zone off the foot of the official, the linesman. Wisconsin controls behind their own net. Looking for some offensive attack to tie up the score. Wisconsin finally leaves their defensive zone. Blake Montgomery guides the puck into the offensive zone, and he gets tripped up with Luca Fantilli. No dice. Tyler Duke through neutral ice. Enters the offensive zone. Cole McKinney barely on sides. Did the splits to stay on sides. And the puck goes around the Wisconsin net along the boards. McKinney fighting for it. Puck sent back out to the point. Rio Mullen can't keep the offensive zone. Quinn Finley, a quick turn. Caught the Wolverines offsides and missed the shot. Great opportunity for Quinn Finley. He missed the whole frame of the net. Tried to go above Ivan Kovic's glove, ended up going above the crossbar. Ernestine clears for the Wolverines. Tolk now. Now Finley again on that right side. Lefty skater loses the puck. Best opportunity of the night for the Badgers. A 1-0. Quinn Finley on Ivan Kovic. He missed. Dexheimer now. This is still the first line for the Badgers. Dexheimer from his defensive position attacks the net. And the puck sails wide and back out to neutralize. Phelan controls for the Badgers. Some sustained offensive time now for Wisconsin, but Ivan Kovic cuts off the pass that was intended to go around the boards for Wisconsin and connects with Nick Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer, an odd man chance here maybe. 3-on-2, but Moldenhauer loses his skates and falls. Still 1-0 Michigan, 2:26 left in the first period. Michigan in their defensive zone. Asher Barnett makes a turnover. Now he collects his own turnover with his hands. Asher Barnett, the Oilers prospect, the defenseman, number 4, enters his offensive zone. Connects with Jaden Perron. Jaden Perron, the transfer from North Dakota, connects with his transfer buddy, Ben Robertson, on the right side at the faceoff dot. Robertson, a shot, sails high. Deflected off a stick, goes above the crossbar, above the glass, into that protective netting behind the goal. 2:01 in the first period. Michigan still leads 1-0. No shots on net in a while, Lincoln.
Absolutely. Both teams here really stacking up the defense, trying to go into this period break a little bit high, collecting themselves. Obviously, those high shots there are not doing either side any favors here. Finley with the good luck. He's been open a lot there on the far side, close to that Michigan bench. The defense has really been packing towards the middle. Meanwhile, for Michigan, had some good solo play up the middle. Great drives there by Barnett and earlier Duke, who've had some excellent puck control, but unable to really find that next pass.
Still 1-0 in Ann Arbor. Top 10 matchup between two rivals. Ivan Kovic behind his own net. Gets pressured and makes a little bit of a turnover, but Aiden Park and Ben Robertson keep the puck alive for long enough for Ivan Kovic to get back into his position. Michigan trying to clear their defensive zone. Ben Robertson shielding off Jack Horbach. And Aiden Park for Michigan controls. Wisconsin finally lays off, and there's a delayed penalty on. Jack Ivan Kovic leaves his position. Sixth skater enters the ice. Michigan a 6-on-5 opportunity. Through neutral ice, Aiden Park. Aiden Park spins in neutral ice. Fantilli. TJ Hughes on offense for the Wolverines, and Adam Valentini just let that one go into the offensive zone. Badgers caught up to it. Whistle blows the play dead. 1:17 left in the first period. Michigan up 1-0, but a penalty power play coming for Michigan.
It's felt like this play has been building and building. Michigan's had some great looks at net since that Shifsky goal, but now with the power play advantage to finish out the first period, looking to get dangerous, send their starting rotation back up on the ice.
Jack Horbach picked up the penalty, so number 22 for the Badgers takes a seat in jail. 1:17 left in the period, 2 minutes on the power play. Michigan, the best ranked power play in the country by far. 40.9%. They're averaging nearly 2 power play goals a game. Faceoff starts as it ends with a whistle, and we'll do it again. A big loss for Michigan's power play, though. Henry Muse. He was the point man for Michigan on their power play. Lower body injury against Notre Dame. The freshman is going to miss the rest of the season, so they need new players to step up. Jaden Perron on the faceoff. He was on that second line of the power play. The B line, he steps in. Perron controls. Hands to Valentini. Valentini to Horkoff. Valentini. Perron. Michigan on the power play. Hage on the left side. Michigan looking to get into Horkoff in the slot. Hughes behind the red line. Horkoff, a shot from the slot. Gets deflected. Wisconsin clears as we cross a minute to go in the first period. Schultz on the attack looking for a short-handed opportunity. Michigan retrieves the puck back. 50 seconds left in the first period. Wolverines a 1-0 cushion, trying to add more on the power play. Jaden Perron enters the zone. Michigan cannot enter the zone effectively. They make a turnover. Gavin Morrissey throws things along for Wisconsin as they send it deep. Jack Ivan Kovic, with 30 seconds left in the period. Hands to Jaden Perron. Perron to Hage. Hage has ice in front of him. Tries to cut back. Deflected. Now Perron at the point, at the blue line. Makes a nice move. Takes his space. Attacks. Hesitates. Shot. Blocked by Wisconsin. 10 seconds left in the period. Play is blown dead. The puck sails out of play. 9.9 to be exact in the first period. 52 seconds on the power play. Michigan still up 1-0, but Wisconsin held off the first minute and 8 seconds of the power play.
But still, 9.9 seconds. Drop puck right by the goal. Watts, a little bit of a chance here for Michigan. Get a quick shot off, pass it back, try to rifle one in.
Cole McKinney on the face-off for the Wolverines. Dakota Rio-Mullen to Ben Robertson. They don't have much time. Get it behind the red line, and the puck is deflected by Wisconsin. Time will expire in the first period. 20 minutes down, the number 2 ranked Wolverines lead the number 10 ranked Badgers 1-0. Along with Lincoln Iaquaniello, I'm Theo Shernoff on WCBN Sports. We'll be back in about 5 minutes for the second period. 1-0 Michigan here in Ann Arbor. all set for period number 2 in Ann Arbor. Michigan leads 1-0 against Wisconsin. I'm Theo Shernoff along with Lincoln Iaquaniello. Lincoln, any thoughts from that period? Michigan comes back on the power play. Anything you'd like to see differently out of them in this period?
I'd really like to see a little bit more tightness in the backfield. They had a couple of turnovers they had a couple of turnovers there that weren't the greatest, and more so for the Badgers. But overall, a great start to this game.
Michigan's defense standing strong yet again. Ivan Kovic, the brick wall in net, looking to keep Wisconsin scoreless again. Michigan has 43 seconds on the power play thanks to a penalty by Jack Horbach of the Badgers. So they will come back up a man. Still early here, but Michigan up 1-0 thanks to a goal from Garrett Shifsky. Wisconsin made a turnover in their own defensive zone right at the blue line. Adam Valentini feathered a pass to Aiden Park, who backhanded one to Garrett Shifsky, powered it through Daniel Hauser, a fantastic goaltender in his own right for the goal. So Michigan up 1-0 thanks to that. About 1 minute, 15 seconds until we get things going in the second period. Wisconsin returns a lot of production from last year. You might think that'd be a good thing, but they weren't that great last year. They had a pretty disappointing year. Only 13 wins, trying to get at least halfway there tonight. They're already 6-0-2 on the season. And it's really a make-or-break year for Mike Hastings in his third season. Wisconsin looks to be off to a much better start, but again, they haven't really been challenged by any tough competition. Michigan already went on the road, and number 7 Providence swept them. Went home and home with the reigning national champions, Western Michigan, split that series, and then just swept Notre Dame on the road. So a much more challenged team thus far, but no challenge like the Wisconsin Badgers here.
Something to move forward to in this period is trying to reduce some of those penalties for the Badgers. Already one power play today, which we're currently starting the second period into. They've given up 54 so far this year through 8 games. That is not a great number. They've seen 60 against them, including the one here tonight by Michigan, who's only given up 35 on the season. But again, a real point of improvement.
Face off at center ice as we get started in the second period. Wisconsin wins. That'll help eliminate 10 more seconds of the power play. They send it the length of the ice, and Ivan Kovic hands to Rio Mullen. Rio Mullen through center ice. TJ Hughes now. Michigan with 30 seconds left on the power play enters their offensive zone. TJ Hughes, a nice skip pass to Ben Robertson. Seemed to skip over a lot of players in the middle. Robertson back to Rio Mullen at the point. Hughes on the left wing at the faceoff dot. Tries to send one through the ice, and he can't, and flicked out of play by Wisconsin. Christian Fitzgerald flicked it up, backhanded, out of play into the Children of Yost student section. So Michigan kind of bailed out. Wisconsin could have cleared it. Instead, no, it's cleared out, and Michigan will have an offensive zone faceoff with 10 seconds left in the power play. Cole McKinney takes the faceoff and wins it. Hands it back. Ben Robertson has to leave the offensive zone, though. Now he re-enters. 5 seconds left with Michigan up a man. Ivan Kovic banging his stick on the ice to alert the attackers. Wisconsin back to full strength. Rio Mullen gets pressure from Horbach, who just left the penalty box. Christian Fitzgerald on the attack for Wisconsin. Takes a dive. Does not get a call. McKinney and Spence try to enter the offensive zone for Michigan, but they are offsides.
Yeah, the entrance there really caught Rain Mullen off guard. Allowed that turnover there. Almost looked like Wisconsin was going to get something out of that. However, Michigan's stellar defense able to play it up. However, offsides there. Curbed them back to right where they were for the faceoff.
Faceoff in Michigan's defensive zone. Yeah, Ivan Kovic was banging his stick on the ground, as goaltenders do, counting down the seconds until Wisconsin back to full strength. Rio Mullen did not realize that, or maybe he did and didn't adapt to it, but Horbach hustled back into the play and forced a turnover. Wisconsin in their offensive zone has a faceoff. Morrissey will face off with Malcolm Spence. Morrissey on the Big Ten all-freshman team last season. Sophomore season looking to continue his stellar campaign. Has no goals but 8 assists thus far in the season. Through neutral ice goes Michigan. Josh Ernessy drops the puck back to Luca Fantilli in neutral ice. Michigan now enters the zone, but it goes right to Ben Dexheimer, who passes the puck along. Tassi now for Wisconsin. Simon Tassi gets the puck taken from him by Tyler Duke, and now Shifsky and Park enter the offensive zone for Michigan. They lose it right back. Back and forth we go in Ann Arbor. 1-0, minute and a half into the second period. Fantilli sends it the length of the ice. It's deflected in the neutral zone, or at least I thought so, but no, it will be icing and come all the way back. Tyler Duke could not get there. Wisconsin now an offensive zone face-off. 8 shots to 6 shots. Defense is doing their job. Michigan leads in the shots category by 2, but no great opportunities in, I believe, the last about 10 minutes of ice time. Face-off won by Aiden Park, the freshman for the Wolverines. A lot of freshmen on Michigan's squad, some in part thanks to the rule where now Canadian hockey players can play in NCAA and retain their eligibility. Leagues like the OHL and the CHL. Kukkonen takes a shot, deflected by Rio Mullen. Still not to register a shot on goal for Wisconsin. 1-0. Now a shot through the crease. Again, not on target. In Michigan's defensive zone, Shifsky's fighting. Draper's fighting. Montgomery emerges for the Badgers. Blake Montgomery skating in circles. Does a spiral. Now a shot. Puck is lifted high above the crossbar. Wisconsin, good offensive zone time, though. Can feel they're on the precipice of something. Puck behind Michigan's net in the hands of Wisconsin. Asburn sends one. Dig through the net. Asburn sent it from the point. Could feel they were about to score, and it was deflected right in front of the net. Went through the legs of Ivan Kovic, and Wisconsin ties up the game with 17:27 left in the second period.
That looked eerily similar, building up towards the start of last half. However, Wisconsin able to capitalize on the momentum they build off from the face-off. Coming out of that power play.
Slipped through the 5-hole of Jack Ivankovic. Did not have a clear line of sight. We'll see who gets credited for the goal, but we're all knotted up at 1 right back where we started in Ann Arbor. Play resumes. Ben Robertson for the Wolverines continues. It was Asburn on the right side. He was assisted by Zilanov and Kukkonen. Could feel Wisconsin was about to reach something. They had a long period of offensive zone time behind Michigan's net. Opportunity after opportunity, and finally their first shot registered on target sneaks through the 5-hole, and Wisconsin ties the game up. Cole McKinney in neutral ice. Hands to Park. Park, shot! Blocked by Hauser. Good opportunity there for Michigan. Tyler Duke gets sandwiched in the boards. Tough hit on his head. Play is blown dead, making sure Tyler Duke's okay. His head got smushed there. He's taken off his helmet. 16:41 left in the second period. Knotted at 1. Tyler Duke skates off the ice. I'm sure he'll be evaluated for concussion under the concussion protocol.
Yeah, that big hit against Duke across the board has been building up in this game. First half, lots of physical play, particularly behind the net of Ivan Kovic early on last half, period. However, this one is the first one to really stop a big stoppage play here. Do hope that Duke comes back.
Play resumes. Puck sent around the Michigan boards. Wisconsin controls behind the Michigan net. Wisconsin still controls. Descended behind the net. Puck yet to take a shot on goal. Hensler controls for Wisconsin. They could not ever get in front of the Michigan net. And puck out to neutral ice. Good stick by Michael Hage to send it into the offensive zone for Michigan. Puck for Zach Schultz, and now Oliver Tolk for Wisconsin. TJ Hughes can't find it in the center ice. Now Hage passes to Horkoff. Horkoff The Penguins' first-round pick loses the puck in the offensive zone. Gathered by Logan Hensler, who's one of the Senators' prospects. Quinn Finley continues things along for the Badgers. Luca Fantilli cuts him off along with Malcolm Spence. NHL prospects all over the place. Malcolm Spence, one of them. Rangers prospect into the offensive zone for Michigan via his skate. Cut off by Wisconsin, and now it's sent around the boards. Michigan in their offensive zone. Fantilli makes a turnover. Morrissey with speed. Gavin Morrissey has an angle to the net, cuts off in the slot. Shot! Score! Gavin Morrissey, his first goal of the season, had open ice in front of him, made a great cutback, pocketed the puck in above the pad of Ivan Kovic, and just like that, Wisconsin goes on top.
Yeah, Michigan's defense there just caught lacking a little bit.
Lincoln, I'd argue that's their offense. They make a turnover. Fantilli, a lazy pass in the offensive zone behind him, and then Morrissey just had open ice and capitalized.
Yeah, that back pass there, that got intercepted. Michigan looking to try to get back from that first goal. However, it's Wisconsin who strikes back.
Badgers lead 2-1. Michigan looking for an answer, looking to force maybe a penalty, get on that nation-leading power play. Wisconsin in their defensive zone trying to exit, can't thus far. Aiden Park controls for Michigan, and he goes to the point to Dakota Rio Mullen. Shifsky, Park, in front of the net, flicked into the pad of Hauser, could not eke over that red line in for a goal. 2-1 Badgers, 14:47 left in the second period. Wisconsin on offense. Park smushing Deering against the boards. Now Montgomery has it. Montgomery behind Michigan's net. Aiden Park cuts it off. He's everywhere right now. In front of Michigan's net, Shifsky tries to clear it for the Wolverines, and he doesn't the first two times, and now Valentini controls, and Michigan drops back, controls Rio Mullen with space and time. Michigan's lead evaporated and then flipped on its head just like that. Moldenhauer for Michigan through center ice, gets shielded off by Asburn. That's going to be a penalty. Hand goes in the air. The crowd knew it. Asburn, who recorded the first goal for the Badgers, called for a penalty, and Michigan goes up a man with 14:10 left in the second period, down 2-1.
I mean, you mentioned it just seconds earlier. Michigan trying to get that power play, to show off that excellent power play offense. 18 goals so far from power plays this season, just through now 11 games, and they get their chance to get back into this game. Is their lead.
Michigan's renowned power play, but missing Henry Muse, as it will for the rest of the season. So Jaden Perron up to this top line. Horkoff, Hage, Hughes, Perron, and Valentini for Michigan on the power play. In the slot, immediately TJ Hughes controls, tries to connect with Hage, a cross-ice pass, couldn't, and Hage does well enough to keep the blue line. Jaden Perron fighting through Badgers. In front, Valentini had the world on his stick, and Daniel Hauser caught the puck in a save.
Excellent save there. Came right out to the edge, got big, exactly what you're supposed to do. Hand up, caught it, put that effort by Valentini right into the can.
What an opportunity. Adam Valentini has not seen a more open goal this game, and he tried to go glove side. Hauser snagged it. A game-defining save for Daniel Hauser. Wisconsin still leads 2-1. Wow, what a chance. Wisconsin clears on the penalty kill, so no icing. 1:35 left on the power play for Michigan. Down 2-1, 13:40 left in the second period. Jaden Perron tries to enter the zone, does for a split second, it's cleared out. Now he hands to TJ Hughes, who connects with Horkoff. Horkoff in front of the net, tries to center it. It's deflected, Wisconsin clears. Christian Fitzgerald looking for a shorthanded opportunity. Backhands one off the chest of Jack Ivankovic. Dangerous shorthanded chance for the Badgers, can't come through. Now Valentini enters the offensive zone. Gavin Morrissey, who put the Badgers up one, clears it. 1 minute left in this power play, halfway through. TJ Hughes in the defensive zone. Michigan looking for a clean entry and then to hold the zone for a while. Jaden Perron finds that entry. Connects with behind the net. Hughes in front of the net now. Perron at the point. Cole McKinney trying to get into that slot with Mania. Can't. It's cleared the length of the ice. Jack Ivankovic controls. 30 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Badgers. Up 2-1. Robertson drops back to Rio Mullen. Rio Mullen for Michigan enters the zone. They've been able to enter. They have not been able to connect within the zone. Right there as Aiden Park makes the turnover. Can't control the pass. Took his eyes off the puck. Aiden Park in Michigan's defensive zone. 7 seconds left in the power play. Ivankovic bouncing his stick on the ice, alerting the attackers. McKinney connects with Spence. Malcolm Spence, as the Badgers are back to full strength, sends one towards the net. Saved by Hauser. Wisconsin gets off scot-free in the power play. 12 minutes left in the second period. They still lead by 1. Hauser covers it up for a faceoff.
Hauser had an excellent power play there. 2 great saves, strong with the glove, shutting all the efforts down there for Michigan. Meanwhile, Aiden Park there looked good early on in this period offensively. Had a little bit of a defensive slip there. The freshman, the Oilers prospect, there, had looked really solid in this period up until then. Again, off the puck, let it go back, killed some of that time off that power play, ultimately let Wisconsin get off scot-free and retain their lead.
2-1 Badgers, 12:04 in the second remains. Michigan was up 1-0 after 1, and then sky started falling. Goal by Asburn, a goal by Morrissey put Wisconsin up 1. There's a timeout on the ice right now. About to reset play, but Michigan needs an answer. Wisconsin, again, has not lost this season. It's not easy to take down this Badgers team, and Michigan has struggled on the power play. They've had opportunities, have not been able to put it in the back of the net, which has been their calling card this season.
Absolutely. We look at that with that Minnesota series. They had 4 goals in that 5-3 win. 4, like I said, came from power plays, dominant performance there when they were up a man. And yet, so far tonight, nada, nothing, zip.
Michigan resets with a faceoff in their offensive zone, but it's blown dead. We'll do it again. Keenan Draper kind of got his ankles broken on that Gavin Morrissey goal. Loses the faceoff for Michigan. The other way goes Botterill for the Badgers. Tyler Duke controls in the Michigan defensive zone. They get a clearance out to neutral ice, but Dexheimer there first for the Badgers. Connects with Tolk, skating the wrong direction, now reverses course. And Botterill enters the zone. Fantilli for Michigan. Tries to connect with Shifsky, but a good clearance by the Badgers. Tyler Duke in his defensive zone at the faceoff dot, skates around the net, and then hands it along the boards to Shifsky. Shifsky clears the blue line, but Wisconsin has the puck. Tassi flicks the puck in. They go for a change, and Michigan smartly flicks Wisconsin's stick loose into the center of the puck, center of the ice. Stick is loose in the center of the ice. The official picks it up and hands it to Wisconsin as play continues in Michigan's offensive zone. Moldenhauer loses the puck. Wisconsin clears. Hensler at the Block M logo. Enters the offensive zone. Rio Mullen gives him a piece of his mind, sends him up against the boards. Now behind Michigan's net, 4 players trying to connect with the puck. There's a scuffle, and the puck floats through the Michigan crease. Michigan fortunate to not give up a goal there. Finally, Michigan gets a clearance. Nick Moldenhauer, the Maple Leafs prospect. Now Valentini on the left wing. Valentini, the talented freshman, skates into the goaltender, Hauser, and Hauser makes the save. Valentini now to Rayon Mullen. Rayon Mullen's shot deflected off the foot of Horbach into the netting for another faceoff. Michigan leads the shots department 13-9, but down on the scoreboard 2-1 with 10:28 left in the second.
Yeah, Valentini there, a little bit of a break, just wasn't able to get the puck situated right on his stick. Needed about one more stride there to get it in a dangerous position. However, an easy scoop up there from Hauser.
The number 10 ranked Wisconsin Badgers lead the number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines. Wisconsin on the road here in Ann Arbor. Wisconsin and Dexheimer clear their defensive zone. Kukkonen sends it all the way around the boards, cut off by Iaquaniello, and Robertson hands it to Michael Hage, who then passes to TJ Hughes, Michigan. A clean clearance, something they've struggled with tonight many times. TJ Hughes, the captain for Michigan, passes to Robertson at the point, deflected off the pad of Hauser. Hage now in the slot, tries a shot, saved, and the play is blown dead. Michigan, great opportunities, 2 shots registered up to 15, but no dice.
Yeah, Hauser's right leg pad has been the MVP for the last 2 minutes here. 2 great blocks there, kept the puck out of Wisconsin's net. Michigan is hungry to get back into this, to tie it up, get it level, and they'll have a chance if they win this faceoff.
2-1 Badgers, under 10 minutes to play in the second period. Park on the faceoff with Zilanov, and Zilanov wins it for Wisconsin. Kukkonen gets it stolen by Spence in center ice. Spence will get called for a hand pass. He doesn't think he did at all, but the linesman very valiant in his opinion, and Michigan will have a defensive zone faceoff coming up.
Michigan down 1. So far, best look has been from Valentini, looking to get his first goal in the last 4 games. Last scored at home versus Western Michigan in that decisive win.
Behind Michigan's net is the puck. There are 2 bodies on the ground. And Michigan finally clears. Spence to Perron. Perron sends it deep, tries to play fetch with himself. And a misplay by Hauser. Shot! Score! Malcolm Spence! Wide open goal! Why not? 2-2. Daniel Hauser, so strong when he's in his crease, came out of his crease, misplayed the puck behind the net. Jaden Perron did all the dirty work, found the puck, found Malcolm Spence, who couldn't miss that if he tried. Rings the bell, lights the lip, we're all square at 2.
You've been a good luck charm here for the Wolverines. You had just called that Perron chance. He was alone in that initial drive, said, I'll take that chance against Hauser, goalkeeper behind his net, out of his zone, won it back, and now Michigan back into it.
Michigan ties it up, children of Yost echo Mr. Brightside. Wisconsin back on the attack. Michigan has tied this game up. 9:10 left in the second period, and Michigan's found themselves even at 2. Wisconsin and Michigan fighting right around the blue line. I believe it'll be called offsides. Spence, his 4th goal of the season. Played with Erie in the OHL. And New York Rangers prospect ties it up. Drafted in this most recent draft. Jaden Perron, Carolina Hurricanes prospect, North Dakota transfer, was alone by himself, the only white sweater in the offensive half. Flinging the puck deep, caught up to it, and then found Spence, who was trailing, for the goal. It was all Perron. Spence came through. Right place, right time. Michigan back on the attack behind Wisconsin's net. Wisconsin clears. Polotachuk. Now Ben Robertson for Michigan. Plays pass along the board to Keenan Draper. Keenan Draper in the slot. Takes a shot. Saved by Hauser. Wisconsin tries to control. Ben Robertson enters the zone onside. Sends it deep. Dump and chase, but dump and change for the Wolverines. Fitzgerald now dumps into the Michigan zone. Iaquaniello makes a smart decision outside of his crease. Goalies outside of the crease are a scary piece of the game, and Hauser made a mistake and cost the Badgers a goal. Now icing will be called on Michigan as Valentini was trying to catch up to the puck. Couldn't do so before Zach Schultz got there.
goal
Man.
like that for either team is always going to keep those goalkeepers on their toes, make them play a little bit more conservative now that they've seen what a possibility of an error on their part could spill to, especially for Ivan Kovic. Doesn't want that to fall onto his Wolverines.
Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone. Gavin Morrissey scored the second goal as a Rochester Hills, Michigan native. He's down on the ice on all fours right now after winning the face-off for Wisconsin. Luke Osborne, a Plymouth, Michigan native. 2 Michigan natives on this Wisconsin team fighting, and Michigan controls the puck. Christian Fitzgerald for Wisconsin now on the attack. Michigan makes a turnover. Tyler Duke lays down the hammer. Fitzgerald spins and falls. Tyler Duke took a big hit to the head earlier. He's back and out for revenge. Valentini backhands the puck deep for Michigan, and they change. Garrett Shifsky in pursuit of Ben Dexheimer. Gavin Morrissey. Gavin Morrissey chased by Spence. And Spence is on the pursuit, on the prowl. Hits not 1, not 2, but 3 Badgers in pursuit. Wisconsin does escape. Pietila for Wisconsin on offense. Cuts in front of the net. A great opportunity. Saved by Ivan Kovic twice. Michigan clears. Rio Mullen through neutral ice. Sends it around the boards deep. Aiden Park is there for Michigan. So is Jaden Perron. But Wisconsin emerges from the pack. Logan Hensler, the Senators prospect. Into neutral ice, the puck goes. Pietila finds it. And hands. Wisconsin through the crease. Good opportunity there for Deering. Could not connect. Now around the boards behind Michigan's net goes Wisconsin. Hensler. Hands it off. Michigan on defense, a long offensive zone period. Pietila flings one towards the net. Hage gets a stick on it and kicks it away. Puck behind Michigan net. Now there's no red sweaters in the area. Michigan can clear. Horkoff skating backwards. Hands to Rio Mullen. Now Fantilli has space. Good laterals by Michigan. Hughes enters the zone to Hage. Hughes, shot, save! What a kick save by Daniel Hauser. Wisconsin keeps it square. 2-2. 5:59 left in the second period. In front of the net, Michigan tries to get to. Hughes makes a turnover. Kukanen for Wisconsin. In neutral ice, evades Fantilli. Now hands it to Robertson. Robertson, so sure-handed with the puck on his stick. Hands to Hughes. Hughes bounces it off of a Wisconsin defender. In goal! Puck found. Josh Ernest in front of the Wisconsin net. He turned, forehanded it through the 5-0 of Daniel Hauser. And the 4th goal of the period gets Michigan back where they used to be, up 1.
That was a beautiful bit of team play there. Some puck off the skates, under the center of the body, got out to Ernest. Ernest winds, finds the shot, and puts it in, gets it past Hauser there. Again,
TJ Hughes passed it off of a Wisconsin defender. He was aiming a diagonal cross-ice pass off the boards, but no, it went off of a defender, found Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer, I believe, handed it to Ernest, and Ernest, right in front of the net, just pocketed the puck in. 3-2 Wolverines. Wow, 5:19 left in the second period. Goals have come out of nowhere, it seems like, for Michigan, but they have 3, and that's more than 2. Botterill tries to send one towards the crease. It's deflected high and out of play for a stoppage. 3-2 Michigan. The number 2 ranked team in the country leads the number 10 ranked team. What a series of goals for Michigan. Ernest pockets it out of nowhere. It was Josh Ernest from Nick Moldenhauer and TJ Hughes. Yes, Hughes off of Wisconsin defender to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer finds Ernest, goal.
4 goals in this period has really opened up back full rink play here. Both teams here making the most of these momentum changes that have come and gone and come and gone. And now Michigan retains their lead that they had from that first period. Again, they were down 2-1 just with 4:39 into this second period. However, the last 10 minutes in and then 14 minutes in with the 2 goals really got them back on their feet, got the crowd back into this game. It's a necessary component here in order to get this big ranked victory, to prove themselves, to prove we deserve this number 2 spot, and to put down these Badgers to go into tomorrow, where they face off again, of course, here at Yost.
5:07 left in the second period. Michigan up 3-2. Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone, so the puck was deflected out of play. We started this period, Michigan up 1-0. 2 goals apiece, and we're back. Michigan up 3-2. Face-off in the Michigan defensive zone. Morrissey and McKinney. McKinney wins the face-off for Michigan, and they don't clear. Valentini almost cleared, and now he does clear. Fitzgerald, Hensler out in neutral ice. Morrissey enters the Michigan native. Fantilli along the boards. The puck escapes the zone. Here comes Garrett Shifsky. Has Valentini with him. Shifsky goes himself. Valentini hit off both posts, and the puck does not cross the red line. I kid you not. No goalie in sight. Valentini had the puck. It went right post, left post, out. It went along the red line. I don't think a puck has ever spent more time on the red line. Along the red line, the entire puck never crossed the zone.
And Valentini's got to be so mad at himself. Such a great opportunity, and we just got the overhead view there. It spends its whole time on that line, half over on that red line into the blue, just never finding its way in. And such a good look off that break there for the Wolverines. Valentini just got a little bit more angle on his stick, could have put that in. However, Wisconsin is lucky there to not be down by 2.
Adam Valentini has had 2 ridiculously open chances tonight, not capitalized on either. And I'm serious, I'm not sure there's ever been a time the puck has spent more milliseconds on that red line. The officials are reviewing it to see if it ever did cross. I don't think it's physically possible for it to hit both posts and cross the red line. I'm gobsmacked. I can't believe that puck did not leave the crease into the net. We'll get a ruling here. It did not cross the goal line. No goal. And man, Michigan could be up a lot more than 1 right now. Nevertheless, 4:40 remaining in the second period. I can't skate, Lincoln, and I think I could have found that puck away into the net.
I mean, me too. I've tried to skate here before. It's not gone well. Even just falling into it might have helped.
Adam Valentini, so talented. Had 2 goals earlier this season in a game against Robert Morris, Come up empty-handed twice tonight. He's just a freshman. He'll stick with it. He's newly 17. Michigan in their defensive zone, up 3-2. Now into the offensive zone. Aiden Park in pursuit. Can't find it. Dubinsky sends it deep for the Badgers. Puck floats through the crease. Again, Adam Valentini, so talented, so promising. 17, he's born in 2008. To give you a sense of where things stand. But could not find the Michigan's 4th goal of the night. Wisconsin now on offense in their zone. Long period of time. Horbach sends one towards the net, but wide. Tyler Duke fighting for it, and it emerges with Wisconsin's Grady Deering. Extended offensive zone time for Wisconsin. Dubinsky finds a deflection from Pietila, but deflected wide. Ivan Kovic wouldn't have been there had the puck found the net. Now out to neutralize. Michigan finally clears. Aiden Park, Malcolm Spence. Malcolm Spence on the attack, slows things down, dumps it deep. Didn't want to risk anything. In Michigan's offensive zone, Wisconsin now clears. Kukkonen into neutral ice. Kukkonen and Zilanov. And now Blake Montgomery. 4 goals in his last 3 games. Makes a turnover. Will Horkoff on the left wing sends it in. Boards are shaking. That's a big man to hit the boards. TJ Hughes behind Wisconsin's net. Thinks about it. Michigan now hands to Schock. Schock, a great opportunity. Saved by Hauser. Dakota Rio Mullen gives a souvenir to fans in the stands after it's deflected. Almost came up here to us. And puck is sent into the stands. 3-2 Michigan, 2:31 left in the second period.
Yeah, Horkoff, the big hit against the boards there. 6'5", Penguins prospect, the sophomore here from Birmingham, Michigan, somewhat local, trying to impress again after that Valentini crazy play that did not find the net.
Asher Barnett in pursuit along with Simon Tassi for the Badgers. Nick Moldenhauer for Michigan clears it along the boards in their defensive zone. Right at the face-off dot. Josh Ernest in neutral ice. Now Keenan Draper for Michigan. Draper fended off by Schultz. Now Ernest for Michigan at the red line in the offensive zone. Shouted by 3 Badgers. And coming to help is Fantilli. Now Draper. Draper, the Red Wings prospect, passes to Robertson at the point, tends a shot, it's blocked, Draper in front of the net. Oh, it's covered up by Hauser, and Draper gave a little shove to Hauser. Now there's a scuffle in the crease. 2 Wolverines, 5 Badgers. They're fighting, no punches swung, but some friendly banter between the 2 squads. 1:50 remaining.
Yeah, some aggressive shaking there by Tassi. He's been on the forefront of that physicality all day. Coming to the defense of Hauser there. Sort of landed defensively there on his side after that great save there. Again, Michigan, close range.
So Keenan Draper picks up a penalty in the scrum. The puck was already retrieved by Hauser, the goaltender. Draper then shoved Hauser, and that resulted in a penalty. Draper, not a smart play out of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the local kid. Goes to Michigan, from Michigan, Red Wings prospect. Michigan in his blood, the redhead, picks up a penalty.
Really unfortunate, as now Wisconsin has a great chance to capitalize here.
And another split penalty because there's 1:50 left in the second period. 2 minutes on the penalty kill for Michigan. Looking to fend off and go into the second intermission up 1. Wisconsin on the attack. Morrissey drops back to Dexheimer. Dexheimer, one-timer. Quinn Finley misses wide. Morrissey takes his space. Quinn Finley again blocked by Duke. His skate is loose on the ice. He is hopping on 1 foot. His edge is sitting there. And he finally gets off the ice with the help of Josh Ernest. Wisconsin had to go retrieve the puck. Ben Dexheimer now enters along with Simon Tassi. Tassi, diagonal pass to Quinn Finley. Finley drops to Morrissey for Wisconsin. 1:23 left in the power play, 1:10 left in the period. Dexheimer. Wisconsin looking to tie this game up. Dexheimer at the point, takes his space, attacks. Morrissey, a shot, misses wide. It's cleared out, and now a short-handed opportunity. Nick Moldenhauer has Schock with him, goes high side short, misses. Shifsky, Moldenhauer one more time, no, gets it taken. Wisconsin now at 3-on-2 odd-man rush. 45 seconds left in the period. Shot by Quinn Finley, blocked by Ivan Kovic high. Crucial seconds remaining in this period. Michigan trying to escape up 1. Kukkonen for the Badgers enters. Tries to connect with Finley, who's been on the ice for this entire minute, 30 seconds of the power play. He can't. Michigan clears. Michigan changes. 20 seconds left in the second period. On the penalty kill, Michigan goes. Now a great pass in on net. Wisconsin, no, could not catch up to it. It was Ryan Botterill. Had open space in front of him, could not get around the puck. 8 seconds in the period. Shot, save! Hensler had an opportunity. Ivan Kovic saved. 1 second left in the period. Ivan Kovic catches, lets it drop. Time expires. Catch your breath. Wow. 3-2, Michigan holding on.
What an absolute minute and a half of cinema there. Some excellent defensive work and even a great offensive break there for the Wolverines. Unable to do it. That shot near post could not get around Hauser. Ends up back to Ivan Kovic, who had 2 great saves there. One off his right leg pad there, and the other to stop it down, end the period, and get Michigan catch their breath.
3-2 Michigan. Through 40 minutes. They lead 3-2. We'll be back in 5 minutes on WCBN Sports. Back in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Wolverines, ranked number 2 in the country, only one loss to their name, up 3-2 on the undefeated, yes, undefeated number 10 ranked Wisconsin Badgers. After an exhilarating second period, saw both sides put 2 more onto their score. We are back at 3-2 Michigan. I'm Theo Shernoff along with Lincoln Iaquaniello. Lincoln, 20 minutes remaining. What does Michigan need to do to bring this one home?
Well, let's start off with the beginning here. Still 10 seconds left in a power play. Not that much, but Wisconsin has come out guns blazing every time here from the intermission break. So as long as they can cool it down for a second, get themselves composed, and make sure they're solid on defense. No breaks, no nothing. If they can minimize those damages, then I think they'll be able to hold on here tonight.
20 minutes on the clock. Michigan up 1. 4 men on the ice for the Wolverines for 10 measly seconds, and then Keenan Draper will re-enter. TJ Hughes wins the faceoff, a crucial win. Puck goes all the way back to Jack Ivankovic. Fantilli sends it to mid-ice, and 1 second left in the power play. Michigan back at full strength. Asburn enters the offensive zone for the Badgers, but loses the puck, and 5-on-5 play resumes. Josh Ernessy in neutral ice sends the puck deep. Wisconsin and Quinn Finley. Quinn Finley, star-studded. Finds the puck on the left side, now lets it go. Asburn. Asburn keeps it moving to Simon Tassi. Simon Tassi behind the Wolverine net, pressured by Tyler Duke. Duke takes him down in a wrestling move. Puck is still behind the Wolverine net. Seems to be between players. Now it's loose. Tyler Duke, no forgiveness, no mercy on Tassi. Puck finds Quinn Finley in a position that he could have scored, but could not corral it. Minute gone in the third. Michigan up 3-2. Tolk tries to connect with Tassi on the left side in front of Michigan's goal. Now Tolk sends one. Ivankovic whiffs, but the puck whiffs the net. Botterill. Tassi tries to jam it in beneath the skate of Ivankovic. He can't. Long offensive zone time for Wisconsin. Hage gets a stick on a puck, but it doesn't leave the blue line. Feels like Wisconsin's on a power play, but we're at even strength. Tolk behind the Michigan net for the Badgers. Trying to retain the puck. Fantilli sends it out to the blue line, but Palatichuk keeps it in. Wisconsin still on offense. In front of the net now, Botterill, and Fantilli finally clears out to neutralize. Michigan tries to change, but Wisconsin's right back on the attack. Hensler hands to Kukkonen. Kukkonen gobbled up by Ivankovic. His shot on target, but Ivankovic there. 2 minutes gone in the third. Michigan up 3-2.
Ivankovic gets them out of this almost 2 minutes entirely of constant pressure from these Badgers. You mentioned it. It felt like a power play. They looked dominant. They had aggression. Michigan couldn't get anywhere near their clearances to get it out of their own territory, and now they face the drop puck back in it.
McKinney sends it deep for Barnett. Barnett clears his defensive zone and then enters the offensive zone. McKinney in pursuit. Wisconsin controls the puck, however, through neutral ice. Blake Montgomery on the attack. Cuts it back. Passes to a righty. Dubinsky on the left side. So if it was a lefty, it would have been a great opportunity for a one-timer. Could not corral it. Montgomery again. Zelinin in front of the net. Blocked. Zelenov was blocked. Shifsky fighting with Zelenov. And the puck flutters towards Wisconsin's goal. Goes behind the net. And Wisconsin controls. Both teams change. 17-17 left in the third. Michigan up 19-17 in the shots department. Up 3-2 on the scoreboard. Ben Dexheimer for the Badgers starts the attack. Hensler sends it deep. Rio Mullen controls the puck behind his own zone, but he's pressured by Badgers. Now Aiden Park, the Oilers prospect, emerges into neutral ice. Tries to play pass with himself off the boards. Dexheimer, fundamental defense, cuts him off. Deering for the Badgers continues the puck, and Rio Mullen gets there for the Wolverines to save any chance. Drew Shaw continues it along the boards to Spence, and now Park connects with Ernessy in neutral ice. Wisconsin now controls at the block M in the logo. Matthew Mania, his third ever game. Kings prospect makes a turnover in his own zone, but finds Keenan Draper, who's just in the penalty box. And Keenan Draper enters his offensive zone, pressured by Logan Hensler. And Hensler wins the battle. Wisconsin controls. Quinn Finley, a little bit out of control, couldn't stop himself, flew into the boards. He seems to be all right, though. Matthew Mania behind his own net. Sends it deep for Josh Ernessy. Josh Ernessy cannot catch up to the puck, and it's icing. Looked awfully close to me. That race was neck and neck the whole way. Called for icing, and Michigan will have a defensive zone faceoff with 15:59 in the third. Up 3-2.
Yeah, breathing room there for the Wolverines. Great. Want to highlight a good defensive move there. Mentioned Drew Schock. One-on-one, he opted to play the board rather than the puck, ultimately giving it back to Ivan Kovic.
Draper and Morrissey on the faceoff. One from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, one from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And the Rochester Hills Morrissey wins it. Christian Fitzgerald now sends a shot, deflects off of a Badger, and then off of the chest of Ivan Kovic, but kept out of the net. Quentin Finley was there in front of the net, and he couldn't corral it. Now into the slot goes Wisconsin. Puck is deflected by Keenan Draper, and Tyler Duke is fighting with Quinn Finley for the puck. Goes off of the backside of the net, and Ernessy deflects a pass into the slot. Wisconsin still on the attack. Luke Asburn falls, and he's on his back right now on the ice. Matthew Mania picks up the puck, continues it along the boards for Draper, who sends it into the center of his own defensive zone for Asburn. Asburn to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald tries to jam it in the far side post. Can't. There's a stick on the ice. I'm not quite sure whose. All 10 players seem to have their stick. Puck goes through the crease, deflected by the skate of Mania. Quinn Finley now on the back end. Finds Christian Fitzgerald off the post. Missed wide, but the puck is still free. Ivan Kovic might have gotten a piece of that puck, and a great opportunity for Wisconsin missed. Still in Michigan's defensive zone. It seems like Wisconsin's been there for the past 5 minutes. 14:40 left in the third period. Wolverines up 1. Morrissey on the attack. Finds Botterill. Saved by Ivan Kovic again. Tassi now off the backside of the net, and the play is blown dead as the puck is sitting in the backside of the net. So many opportunities for Wisconsin. We're 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the third period. I'm pretty sure the puck has been on the left side of the ice for 5 minutes and 25 seconds of it.
And something I wanted to highlight there, for about the last minute there, Ivan Kovic did not have his stick. It was his that was in the backfield there.
Oh,
he
interesting.
Standing up a little bit like a scarecrow, hoping nothing to come up with his hands there. He's able to get out of that nervy situation.
So Ivan Kovic finds his stick, and there's a faceoff just outside the Wolverines' defensive zone. Guess who wins? Wisconsin. Phelan. The Red Wings prospect himself, but he plays for the Badgers. Sends the puck deep. Ivan Kovic around on the boards. Tassi picked it up in a great opportunity for the Badgers, but couldn't send it in the direction of the net. Now Tassi behind the net. Tries to backhand it in. Shot by Took. Saved by Ivan Kovic. Barnett might have blocked it. Asher Barnett is writhing in pain on the ground in front of the Wolverines' crease. I think he blocked that one with his soul, and the play is blown dead. He catches his breath. Wolverines still up 1, still on defense.
I think it was more than Barnett's soul that got hit there. Went down hard, but again, great defensive effort to get in the way there.
Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone. They've been there for the past 6 minutes. Vasily Zilanov, Cole McKinney on the face-off, and McKinney wins. McKinney in neutral ice. Through the block M, and he enters the offensive zone offsides, so they'll have to go back outside to start it. McKinney, such a talented freshman out of Lake Forest, Illinois, played with the U.S. National Team Development Program, and now is a San Jose Sharks prospect. Prospects up and down this ice. Rosters stacked full. Future NHL stars developing here in the NCAA Big Ten rivalry. 3-2 Michigan, under 14 to play. Face-off blown dead as Valentini and Horbach got into a scuffle right before it was dropped behind the back of the official. Now the puck is dropped, and McKinney wins it, sends it back to Ivan Kovic. Rio Mullen retrieves. Playing some cat and mouse behind his own net. Now finds Robertson, who connects with McKinney on the right side. McKinney through neutralized, finds Shifsky on the backhand. Shifsky loses the puck, now dives for it in an attempt, and it works. Keeps the puck. Rio Mullen drags, spins at the point. Now fires one towards the net. Shifsky deflects it wide, though. Now McKinney, Shifsky in front of the net, and neither of them can get a clean stick on it. 13:23 left in the third. Michigan controlling in their offensive zone, but Wisconsin clears. And now here's an opportunity for Grady Deering. Grady Deering shielded off by Adam Valentini. Great textbook defense. Michigan emerges in their defensive zone behind their own net. And now they come out of there. 13 to play. Jaden Perron enters the offensive zone on his backhand. Sends it along the boards behind Wisconsin's net for Robertson. The transfer line, as we'll call them, has provided some offense tonight. Spence, Perron, Robertson, Schock. All newcomers on this team. Puck behind Michigan's net. Zilanov tries to get there. Robertson is there for the Wolverines. And now Aiden Park. Aiden Park on this fourth line sends the puck the length of the ice. Spence catches up to it to prevent icing, but Wisconsin controls behind their own net. Michigan now behind their net as the puck is going from board to board, and now into center ice with Hage. Michael Hage finds Will Horkoff and enters the offensive zone for Michigan. It's on the red line. Puck is on the red line with the Badgers. Badgers get the puck knocked down, and there will be a whistle.
Yeah, for about the last minute there, not a lot of good looks on either side's net. A lot of solid defense from both the Wolverines and the Badgers, looking to catch both teams' breaths, looking to find a little bit more of a hole through tactical passing there. Rain Mullen had a good look towards net earlier, winding, turning, trying to find something. Ultimately ended up with a reaching call, or excuse me, not reaching call, but a reaching grab there as play resumes now.
Face off in Michigan's offensive zone, and Michigan wins it. So Michael Hage on the attack along with Will Horkoff. Now TJ Hughes tries to get a Hage in the slot. It's deflected. Wisconsin has three attackers on the rush. Blake Montgomery. Blake Montgomery slides, drags. It's deflected. Tyler Duke. Tyler Duke forces a turnover. Now TJ Hughes on offense. Hands to Michael Hage. Hage in front of the net. Shot. High side save by Hauser. Fantastic move by Michael Hage. He had a game winner in overtime against Wisconsin last year here in Ann Arbor. That was a very similar opportunity. Couldn't capitalize. Matthew Mania gets his stick flung out from him in Michigan's defensive zone. Moldenhauer and Ernest exit the blue line for the Wolverines. Hughes sends it around the boards for Michigan. Dump and change. Dexheimer now on offense, and Tassi sends it deep for the Badgers. Wisconsin down one with under 11 to play. They need an equalizer. Tolk connects with Dexheimer at the point. Dexheimer, some give and go with Finley. Finley in a battle with Fantilli. Fantilli emerges. Moldenhauer, a great tip. He's in on net. Has Draper. Moldenhauer gets shielded up by Dexheimer. Great recovery defense by that captain, Ben Dexheimer, for the Badgers. They're not out of the woods yet. Draper on the attack. Sends it towards the net. Fluttering, hits the skate of Nick Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer behind the Wisconsin net, and Wisconsin emerges. Ben Dexheimer feels like he's been on the ice for an eternity. Loses the puck, but loses it and draws a penalty right at the center of the Block M logo. 10-17 in the third period. 3-2 Michigan. There will be 5 Badgers on the ice compared to Michigan's 4.
Moldenhauer there with a couple of great opportunities. Had a great reach around, got the puck, got the crowd on his side. A little bit of a break. Again, wasn't able to capitalize with a high shot off to the right, but was able to spin back with it. Came off of his skate close to the net, unfortunately. And now we see Michigan's chance at a goal here fade a little bit as they go into this power play, which we'll see them go.
Malcolm Spence called for hooking in center ice. So Michigan on the penalty kill. 3-2 Wolverines, 10-17 left. This is Wisconsin's best chance to tie up this game.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of guys who want to get out there and do it. I think a great opportunity here. Again, talked about it earlier in the game. Montgomery has been coming up in some clutch situations recently, particularly against Minnesota and Wisconsin's last series. 4 goals in his last 3 games. I'm sure he'd love to extend that. To see a little bit more ice time. Had a good look in the first half of the second period, but wasn't able to come up with anything, even though his teammates were. But now
10-17 left in the game. Wisconsin drawing up a play. They will have an offensive zone face-off to kick off this power play. Great opportunity for the Badgers, and Penn Dexheimer is still on the ice. Because why not? This is what you play for. Dexheimer, senior out of Edina, Minnesota. The defenseman has been everywhere. Almost prevented a goal earlier by Draper and Moldenhauer. And now Dexheimer has the puck at the point. Wisconsin up a man. Hands to Gavin Morrissey. Morrissey into the slot. It went Tassie Fitzgerald and then deflected finally by Ernestine. Now a shot from the point. Deflected by Tassie and in! Wisconsin took up 12 seconds and they tie up the game. We are back right where we started, folks.
It's such a loss there for Michigan. But again, that deflection came in huge there. Ivan Kovic could not find it.
3-3 Wisconsin. It was Simon Tassie who blocked Ivan Kovic's vision and deflected a pass or a shot into the back of the net. And 3-3 is the score with 10:05 left in the third period. Badgers, Wolverines, all square. Wow. It was Wisconsin's best chance, and they capitalized on their first one in the power play. Michigan looking to go back up 1 halfway through this third period. McKinney behind the Badger net. Tries to smush it in between the skate and the goal. Dexheimer did not appreciate McKinney messing with Hauser, and the play is blown dead. A little discussion behind the net between both teams. 3-3. It was Christian Fitzgerald who got credited for the goal as of right now. We'll see if Tassie got a piece on it later. Assist by Dexheimer and Quinn Finley. That is that top line on the power play for the Badgers. So we're all square at 3. 9:48 left in the third period. Man, Lincoln, this one is a barn burner.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks all even on the board. 20 shots either side, 3 goals apiece. Let's see who can come up on top.
Wisconsin through neutral ice, Ryan Botterill. Botterill sends it to the far right corner of his offensive zone, catches up to it. Now Cole McKinney for the Wolverines through neutral ice. Skating, puck out in front of him. Tassie catches up to McKinney. McKinney finds Rayon Mullen in the slot. Rayon Mullen didn't have a clean reception, handed the puck away. Wisconsin the other way. Tolk. Hands to Botterill. Botterill tries to drag. It's deflected by Fantilli. Now Botterill in front of the net. Backhand try. Forehand try. Goal! Ryan Botterill puts the Badgers up 1. 4-3 Wisconsin. Exactly 61 seconds ago, Michigan was up 3-2. Look at the scoreboard now. Wisconsin's up 4-3. Ryan Botterill had 2 chances, and the second time was the charm for Botterill. Wow.
This looks eerily similar to the second period there, where Wisconsin got out with the first goals there, 2 apiece there. Of course, those were Osborne and Morrissey. And now we see Fitzgerald and Botterill get their names on the score sheet.
You're right. Wisconsin scored the first 2 goals in the second period, and 11 minutes in, they've scored 2 against Michigan here, and now they go up 1. Both top 10 teams have had historic starts to the season. One of those looking to falter right now. There's some discussion with Brandon Naranjo. Maybe a challenge by Michigan. They have one remaining. See if there was any goaltender interference. Botterill had the puck, but there were at least two bodies in between Ivan Kovic and Botterill. Botterill was damn near at the front of the crease. And as we look here, Ivan Kovic did get shielded by a Badger, but we're not sure if he actually got in the way. It was Oliver Tolk. Tolk out of Gibsons, British Columbia, is a freshman on this top line for the Badgers. He's listed on the top line. He kind of got pushed into Ivan Kovic by Rayo Mullen. And Ivan Kovic couldn't kick out his right pad for the save. Brandon Naranjo has a challenge, might as well use it. 9:16 left in the third period. This determines whether or not Michigan is tied or trails by one.
Again, hate to bring up similarities from earlier, but I'll do it again with that Michigan Shifsky goal. Similar challenge came in. There was similar contact, but this time, instead of just the stick, it was also the leg. However, the push in from Michigan.
As I look down right now, two officials are looking at the monitor, and they're pointing. They're touching the monitor, having a discussion. They seem to be putting on their helmets again and will make a decision. We'll see. They enter the ice. The whole world awaits. No goaltender interference. It is a good goal. And the timeout / challenge for Michigan has been used up. Michigan trails 3-4. 9:16 left in the third period. And Wisconsin has come out with a vengeance in this final period of play. The last stanza of the game awaits. Michigan needs an equalizer. Off to a 9-1 start. Best start in a generation. Drew Schock sends it around the boards for the Wolverines, and they're in the offensive zone. In front of the net goes the puck into the crease. It's covered up by Daniel Hauser. No problem for him, but a scary opportunity for the Badgers, or for the Wolverines. And Wisconsin covers it up and will reset with a face-off in Michigan's offensive zone.
Yeah, it just allows Wisconsin to get their bearings again. Trying to continue this momentum. Two more shots, they added a goal. Michigan looking to hopefully do the same here as they're down one.
Some sloppy turnovers on both sides have led to goals. And now Horkoff in front of the net gets shoved out of the way. Michigan tries to keep the zone and can't. Robertson pursues the puck and finds it deep in his own zone. Pressured by Botterill. Robertson drops it back. Horkoff at the red line in the center. Off the boards to Hage behind him. Hage keeps the puck deep. Hughes, Hage in front of the net. Goal! TJ Hughes found the puck and had a give and go with Michael Hage in front of the Wisconsin net. Flicked it high side over the glove of Daniel Hauser. This game keeps on giving. 4-4, 8:41 remaining in the third period. Michael Hage, when the Wolverines needed him most, equalizes.
Great bit of team play there. Excellent pass. Rather than trying to get in something on the near post, hook it around. Decides, I'm going to go to my teammate, Michael Hage. He's able to rifle that in. A little bit of distance. Not Hauser unable to react in time. His lightning fast reaction skills weren't fast enough this time.
It went Horkoff, Hage, Hughes, Hage, goal. Michigan, Wisconsin, knotted up at 4. This interstate rivalry only gets better. Michael Hage knots his 7th of the season. We're all square. 8:30 left. Michigan back on the attack. Phelan fighting with Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer emerges. Now Finley tries to skate up to Ivan Kovic, and Ivan Kovic covers it up. 8:21 in the third period. Face-off in Michigan's defensive zone. 4-4.
Didn't even take Michigan 2 shots there to level up with Wisconsin there. Great opportunity, and now Both teams, 8 minutes, a little over 8 minutes to play to make their mark in the Big Ten, show who's really going to dominate this year.
4-4, 8:21 remaining. Face-off between Aiden Park and Gavin Morrissey. Morrissey wins. Puck kept into the offensive zone by Wisconsin. Fitzgerald tries to stop it with his skate. Can't. Malcolm Spence has the world in front of him and gets tripped up from behind. Delayed penalty. No, not delayed penalty. Would have been a delayed penalty except the net came loose. There is a penalty nevertheless. Spence had a free rein to the net and he got tripped up from behind. The hand went up in the air. We'll see what the ruling is here.
Yeah, he slid all the way down into the net. It was a runaway train situation. Of course, play stopped.
Just a 2-minute hooking minor for Wisconsin. So now Michigan, the nation's best power play, gets another opportunity. Averaged 41% coming into the game. They are 0 for tonight. 5-on-4 on the ice for Michigan. Fitzgerald might have saved a goal, picked up a penalty in the process. 8:08 remaining. TJ Hughes wins the faceoff for Michigan. Rayo Mullen moves it along. Michael Hage just tied up this game, back on offense. Dakota Rayo Mullen at the point, tries a shot, misses wide. Steered away from the net. And Jack Horbach clears it the length of the ice. Under 8 to play. Children of Yost on their feet. Adam Valentini drops it back to Michael Hage. Looking for a clean zone entry. Hage finds it, drops to Valentini, gets caught up with the official, loses it, has to retreat with the puck. 1 minute, 24 seconds remaining in the power play. Michael Hage enters the offensive zone to Will Horkoff, barely on sides. Drops it back to Dakota Rayo Mullen. Michael Hage drags, Michael Hage shoots, saved by Hauser. Another shot, saved by Hauser. Hughes and Hage had opportunities. Hauser was there both times. Hage shielding off a defender, passes to Valentini. Valentini, Rayo Mullen at the point. Shot, saved by Hauser. Valentini in front of the net. Now Hage another try. 5 saves by Hauser. Puck along the boards, goes out of play, and Daniel Hauser single-handedly keeping this game tied.
He looks great back there. Constant pressure on him. What pressure? He's been able to keep that clear, able to buy his Wisconsin Badgers defense a little bit of breathing room. Drop puck is still down at their end there. So the puck's still out of bounds.
53 seconds remaining in the power play, 7:01 in the period. In the game, should we find a winner in this last 7 minutes. McKinney and Morrissey on the faceoff. Unclear who wins. Puck flutters towards the boards and Michigan emerges. McKinney shielding off Morrissey. Puck leaves the offensive zone, but Ben Robertson has it for Michigan. Michigan enters the offensive zone. Ben Robertson in the slot to McKinney on the left boards. Robertson at the point, along the blue line. Perron drags, finds McKinney. Robertson at the point. Perron, one more time, shot, blocked by Hauser. Said it once and I'll say it again, he's strong. Allowed 4 goals, hard to blame him. Spence a chance in the slot, blocked, puck is cleared. 10 seconds remaining on the power play. Jack Ivankovic controls for Michigan. Wisconsin, their penalty kill, being undoubtedly the highlight of the night for the Badgers. 2 seconds on the penalty kill, now 1, it expires. Perron enters the zone, and Perron has to hesitate as Michigan would be offsides, and they send it deep and change. Wisconsin has the puck behind their own net. Under 6 to play in Ann Arbor. All square at 4. Christian Fitzgerald and Tyler Duke fighting. Fitzgerald finds the puck behind Michigan's net. Now Quinn Finley has the puck handed to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald connecting with Deering. Wisconsin on offense. Draper tries to clear. Poor clearance. Quinn Finley keeps the blue line. Puck sails high above the crossbar. Dexheimer moves it along for Deering along the boards behind Michigan's net. Fantilli loses his stick. Picks it up again. Dexheimer along the boards on the far side behind Michigan's net. Michigan finally controls the puck and clears the blue line. Shifsky in pursuit. Shifsky catches up to the puck in the offensive zone. Pressured by Dexheimer. Puts on the brakes. Now he pins the puck up against the boards behind Wisconsin's net. 3 Badgers, 2 Wolverines there. Ernest takes over Shifsky's shift. And Ernest now pushing the puck up against the boards. 4:55 and counting in the game. Barnett stops the puck from leaving the blue line. Ernest in front of the net. Tries to go a high side blocker. Gets blocked. Rayo Mullen at the blue line for Michigan. Now Cole McKinney at the point. Flutters it deep, and Daniel Hauser covers it up with his glove. Everyone can breathe. 4:38 remaining in the third period. We're still knotted at 4. Timeout on the ice. Michigan and Wisconsin were tied at 22 shots apiece about 3 minutes ago. Michigan now leads that 29-22.
Great look there. Again, trying to get around close inside on Hauser and just able to sit there, let his leg pad do the talking for him and prevent any more options there. Wolverines have racked up 8 shots since their goal went in and still have not been able to get the tiebreaker as of yet.
4-4 in Ann Arbor. Number 10, Wisconsin. Number 2, Michigan. They will meet again at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. But right now, teams looking to take a 1-0 lead in this series. 4:38 remaining.
You can feel the pressure building up in Yost. Crowds, excitement is palpable. Not too many Wisconsin fans tonight, but enough to make some noise and to annoy some of the Michigan fans.
Boy, these fans have been treated to a show. 8 goals, 4 apiece. Wisconsin has had a lead in periods 2 and 3. Michigan has led in all 3 periods. And yet, we're back where we started. 4-4. Face-off in the Michigan offensive zone, won by Wisconsin. They look to jailbreak out of it, but Will Horkoff keeps the blue line, very close to not keeping the blue line. Looks like the puck just eked out, and it will be offsides as he sent it back in again. So offsides will reset with a face-off outside the Michigan offensive zone. Michigan's first line is on right now. Morrissey seems like he's been in every face-off against the captain, TJ Hughes. Schock enters the zone for Michigan off the boards. Wisconsin clears, and Ben Robertson retrieves. Robertson, D-to-D pass to Schock. Schock finds Hughes right at the center. Enters with Horkoff, and now Hage keeps the blue line on offense. Hage attacks, drags, finds Fantilli, who just checked in. Fantilli tries to block, shot, and it gets blocked. Fantilli retrieves his own shot, and off the boards it goes to Horkoff. Horkoff on the right wing. Fantilli at the slot, gets it blocked again. Hage in front of the crease. Deflected, cleared away by Wisconsin. Tassi tries to clear, but 6'5" Will Horkoff keeps his zone. 6'5" Will Horkoff finds the net. Michigan up 5-4. The leading scorer for the Wolverines finds his 11th of the season. None greater than that one. Will Horkoff caught a puck, set it at his feet, attacked his space, went high left side above Hauser's blocker to break the tie. Michigan back on top.
That was a beautiful bit of individual skill he adds onto his total. Now it's 5 in his last 4. Will Horkoff, the prospect for the Penguins. Beautiful bit of skill. Gets it past Hauser, who's been so good back there today. But however, gets it high, beats his reaction time, and puts the Wolverines ahead.
Under 4 to play. Michigan now leads 5-4. We've seen the same thing happen in periods 2 and 3. Michigan comes in with the lead. Wisconsin scores 2. Michigan scores 2. Puck is fluttered towards the net. Hauser snags it and will reset with a faceoff. Mr. Brightside echoing amongst the children of Yost student section here. And man, Will Horkoff did that all by himself. 11th goal of the season. The leading scorer puts Michigan on top. 3:35 remaining in the third. If the result holds, Michigan will hand Wisconsin their first loss of the season. A lot of seconds remain, Lincoln.
Yeah, 3:35, so much left to play with. Wisconsin can do a lot here.
Wisconsin behind their own net. Controls. Tolk through central ice. Quinn Finley enters the zone. Barnett hesitates before clearing and now softly clears smartly to Moldenhauer, preventing icing. Tolk now off the skate of Asher Barnett behind Michigan's net. Behind Michigan's net is Rayon Mullen. Rayon Mullen trying to find a teammate. Now controls the puck and Wisconsin lays off the pressure. Rayon Mullen to Asher Barnett for Michigan. Moldenhauer takes a hit from behind. Draper shovels the puck in to the Wisconsin zone. Under 3 to play in Ann Arbor. Michigan up 5-4. Looking to hold on. Tyler Duke for Michigan skates backwards, passes to Fantilli in their own zone, and now they clear the zone. Palatichuk for Wisconsin moves it to Dexheimer. D to D, now D to D again. Palatichuk attacks. Deflected by Jaden Perron. Jaden Perron enters the offensive zone for Michigan. It's taken away by Wisconsin. Dexheimer, Ben Dexheimer, the captain for the Badgers, goes off the boards deep, trying to catch up to it. He can't. Malcolm Spence chips the puck out of Michigan's defensive zone. Wisconsin controls behind their own net. 2:10 to go in Ann Arbor. 5-4 Wolverines. Wisconsin needs an equalizer. Teams are changing. Quinn Finley, the Wisconsin star, been held quiet tonight, sends a shot from the blue line, snagged down by Ivan Kovic. We breathe with 1:57 to go.
Wisconsin's first big break after that goal from Michigan. Long shot there, safely into the hands of Ivan Kovic.
Both goalies have had very impressive performances. Again, Wisconsin 4 goals on 23 shots. Michigan 5 goals on 31 shots. Does not keep pace with what the goalies have done this season, but it's been an impressive showing that's not going to show in the scorebook. Face off with 1:55 to go. Michigan wins and clears. The length of the ice, empty net, it finds the goal! Michigan up 2! I didn't even realize the net was empty. It was set the length of the ice, and Michigan capitalizes and goes up 6-4. Wow, Michael Hage notches his second of the night. It was 6-on-5 Wisconsin. Michigan won the faceoff. Hage, accuracy from Madison, made it into that net.
Absolutely. He looked up, said, you know what, I'm going to try it. If anyone can, it's me. And obviously slices that all the way down. Wisconsin returns.
1:49 to play. That might be the dagger. Nick Moldenhauer from Michigan skates through center ice. Daniel Hauser is going to have to try to leave his post again. Wisconsin needs 2 goals in 90 seconds. Draper for Michigan makes a turnover, and Wisconsin goes on the attack. We'll see if they pull Hauser again. That might have been Cole McKinney to score the goal for the Wolverines. Leaving the post again is Hauser. Puck flutters deep, almost goes in the net. Instead, it's icing. 69 seconds remain. Michigan up 2. Empty net for Wisconsin. 6-4 Wolverines in a game that has seen just about everything.
Wisconsin trying their luck again with an empty net. Obviously led to that 6th goal there out of nowhere. But it's the only thing they can do with only 1:09 left. Trying to make the most of this first game here, which they've looked so great in. However, the score, they're down 2.
6-4 Michigan. Empty net for Wisconsin. Wisconsin up a man in the offensive zone. Simon Tassi. Quinn Finley. Quinn Finley tries to backhand it to a defender. He can't. It leaves the zone. Wisconsin has to retreat. Under a minute to play. Empty net for Wisconsin, down 2. Morrissey to Tassi. Tassi throws the puck in, and Ivan Kovic's going to give it a shot. Goalie shot deflected by Dexheimer. I think it was on target. Goalie attempt. We've seen it all, Lincoln. Ivan Kovic again drives, now gets deflected. Fitzgerald steals it. Iaquaniello out of his position. Wisconsin, another shot. Shot saved by Iaquaniello. 22 to play. Iaquaniello covers it up. 19.2. There's a scuffle behind the net. Michigan is up 2, looking to win.
It's been the most exciting 5 minutes in hockey I've seen in a long time here. Iaquaniello goes for the shot. Scuffle breaks out. High intensity game. Both teams sort of been building to this. Lots of shots against the boards throughout. I don't think they were a fan of the Iaquaniello long shot there. As everything cools off, refs separate everyone out here for the final 19.2 seconds.
19.2 on the clock. Michigan up 6-4. Wisconsin needs a goal every 9 seconds to tie this one up. Again, empty net down there for the Badgers. Couple players will leave the ice and go into the penalty box. It'll be Malcolm Spence and Oliver Tolk. Both freshman Canadians leave the ice. And 19.2 remaining. It will be 5-on-5. Wisconsin needs 2 goals. They have an empty net. They need them quickly. There are 2 Wolverines and 2 Badgers in. Tassi and Tolk for the Badgers. Hage and Spence for the Wolverines. And they are barking over the official who's in between them. Trash talk continues in the penalty box. Spence still giving a piece of his mind to Tassi. Hage still talking down to Tolk. You gotta love it. Big Ten hockey, baby.
Both the refs come over, punch the glass, tell them to knock it off so they can finish out the game here.
Wisconsin wins the draw. 17 seconds remain. Empty net for the Badgers. Tyler Duke along the boards. Cut off. Wisconsin in front. In the slot. TJ Hughes sent to the length of the ice. On target from way downtown. TJ Hughes notches a goal. The nation's active leading goal scorer puts 7 on the scoreboard for the Wolverines. And the nation's greatest offense leads 7-4 over the Badgers.
And just a few minutes ago, this was 4-3 Wisconsin up. Michigan have turned this around. The scoreline doesn't show you how close this was. Pulling the goalie here, that risk-reward factor has not paid off for these Badgers, but it's the only thing they can do. And again, 5 seconds left. This game is all but over.
Time runs out. Michigan will win 7-4 over Wisconsin. There are still fights on the ice. Pietila in an absolute wrestling match with Shifsky. They're on the ice. Officials trying to break it up. 0.0 on the scoreboard. The score reads 7-4. Michigan wins. Wisconsin takes their first loss of the season, and they're learning what that means. Undefeated no more are the Badgers. Michigan wins. They've improved to 10-1 on the season. Wisconsin falls to 6-1-2. And a ridiculously high contested match in Ann Arbor sees the Wolverines, the victors, reign valiant.
Such a fun game to watch here. Scoring across the board, high intensity. So many fans stuck around because it was that close up until the end. Teams circle up. Michigan celebrating down on the ice, rightfully so. Such an electric victory. Really paid off for them at the end there.
Michigan wins 7-4, a final here in Ann Arbor. Thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports' production of Michigan Wolverines hockey. Along with Lincoln Iaquaniello, I'm Theo Shernoff, signing off for the night, as we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.